So just in child's pose, feel how the back body spreads and expands as you breathe in. Like the backs of your lungs are like balloons. And then feel a softening down toward the earth as you exhale. Inhale, filling up the back body. Backs of your rib cage. Exhale, softening, dropping, releasing to the earth. With your next inhale, let's come up onto hands and knees. So just shifting forward so that we find our alignment for cat-cow. We'll move through a few rounds of cat-cow. So the shoulders are right over the wrists, hips are right over your knees. And as you breathe in, let the heart melt and lift the chest forward and the tailbone up. And then exhale, push into your hands and round your back. Inhaling for your cow pose. Opening up the front body. Exhale, push into your hands and round and spread the shoulders. Spread that space behind the heart. Just a few more rounds like this. Moving around in any way that feels comfortable. So you can continue a few rounds of the traditional cat-cow. Or feel free to go side to side with the hips, move the spine in a lateral direction, or you can even circle the hips, kind of like you're drawing a line with the tailbone. Just bring some movement to the base of the spine, the hips, and then reverse directions. If you've circled. Good. And then from here, let's take the right arm, reach it out for thread the needle. We're gonna wrap it under, coming to the right side of the face. Pop up onto the left fingertips, and then maybe walk the left hand forward a little bit here. Take a deep breath, and then push into the left palm, reach the right arm up into the air, and open the chest, little twist, coming back onto both hands. Left arm is gonna spread out, inhale. Exhale, thread the needle, bring the right temple down, lightness in the head, and then walk the right fingertips forward, or you can just continue to push down into the right hand. The front ribs draw up and in toward the spine as the tailbone lengthens up and back. And then we'll push into the right hand, inhale. Exhale, left arm reaches up, little twist, and then coming back into all fours. We'll push back into a downward facing dog. So the hands are gonna come forward, curl the toes under, press the hips up and back, and we'll start to pedal the feet. Just any movements that feel good to you in your first downward facing dog. So bending one knee at a time. We'll see. Hi, Karen. Karen, we're gonna be at a wall today. So you missed me saying that. Wall and strap if you like, and blanket or towel works too.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so in your downward facing dog, just take another breath there. Elongate the spine, really stretch and spread. Spread the fingers. Push the hands and feet away from each other. And then let's lower the knees back down, and we'll step the right foot forward between the hands. We'll just get into just a lunge to open up the hip flexors, the front of the hip. So letting the hips drop toward the floor a little bit. Draw the feet together slightly, and then you can kind of crawl the hands up to the thigh. And then so we're pulling the feet together a little bit to be more active in the base of the building. And then arms can come up if you'd like, or you can take them down, or if you want to get into shoulders, you can take them behind the back and lift the chest. Spread and open the front of the shoulder. Just a nice full breath here. And then we'll release that. Both hands come down. We'll step back into tabletop. And then the other side. Step the left foot forward. Let the hips drop toward the floor. Just feel that nice openness in the hip flexors. They shorten and tighten when we do a lot of sitting. So just breathing into the stretch, breathing into the openness, creating some space. And then you can start to walk the spine up. Walk the hands to the thigh. Start to pull the front and back foot towards each other. The tailbone moves down or in instead of the tailbone lifting back behind you. And then the low belly draws up, and feel free to take the arms up, or if you took them behind you, just the same variation you took on the right side. Lift the chest, spread the collarbones, take a deep breath. Good, and and then put the hands back down. Step back into your tabletop, and then let's do another round of cat-cow. So we breathe in, let the belly drop, lift the heart. Exhale, push into your hands and round it out. Come back to tabletop. Step the right foot forward, and then we're gonna pivot. So curl the back toes under. We're gonna pivot to a wide angle fold. So in your prasarita, the hips are in line with your heels. You're gonna find a flat back as you breathe in, and as you exhale, let the crown of the head melt toward the floor. So you can walk your hands back to your feet. You can use blocks underneath the hands if you're kind of tight today. Feel the shoulder heads lifting away from the ears. Take a nice deep breath here, inner thighs lifting. And the neck is really long and relaxed. So relax the weight of the head down toward the earth. As you breathe in, let's lift up, come to a flat back. And then the right hand stays underneath the heart, and the left arm is gonna reach up for a twist. Energize the right inner thigh, and then see if you can take your shoulders down your back a little more, and from your rib cage, we're revolving toward the left. Come back to center with your breath. Inhale, get a little more length. Exhale, the right arm reaches up toward the sky, the shoulders stay down the back. Engage your left inner thigh. Nice deep breath, revolving your rib cage toward the right. Neck is relaxed. You can look down if that's better for your neck. If you want to twist the neck, we look up toward the hand, right hand. And then we'll come back down. Good. From here, walk back to the front of the mat. Heel toe that right foot out to the right and set your knee down again. So now coming into a version of lizard or dragon, however you like to practice this. We can come down onto the forearms to get a little deeper into the hips. You can come to the outer edge of the right foot and let your knee drop out. I'm gonna do kind of a hippie class today. Lots of variations. So we're gonna move to the wall and explore that a little bit more. But for now, whatever you like to do here, if you like to twist in your lizard or dragon, we're gonna take the right arm back and see if maybe you can even catch your left foot. So then we add the quadriceps and the iliopsoas a little bit more. So if you bring your hips up away from the floor, you're gonna feel it more into your 4 large quadricep muscles, the front of the thigh. And then let the shoulders move down the back, continuing that spiraling of the ribs toward the right. Release the foot if you have it. Come on out of the twist. And then we'll just go back into table. Feel free to move through a breath of cat-cow or a breath in downward facing dog. Nice long spine. When you're ready, we'll go to the other side. So you can come back onto the knees, step the left foot forward, and then let the hips drop toward the floor. So we'll settle in for a moment, and then we'll find that same variation we did on the first side. So you can come on down to the forearms if you'd like. You can roll to the outer edge of your foot, finding the same variation. And then maybe we took the twist. So from this position, hips are gonna lift a little bit away from the floor. Take the left arm back. Make sure the right shoulder is down the back. And then maybe you can roll in front of the kneecap to grab your foot and open the chest. If you're twisting, a light lift of the navel, no matter if you have the foot or not. If you're in the twist without the quad variation, still draw the navel toward the spine, revolve the ribs toward the left, soften the neck, release the jaw. And then let's come on out of the twist. Hand comes back down. Come on back into your tabletop and move the hips from side to side. And then we'll go ahead and come to our wall space. So the skinny edge of the mat is going to line up with your wall to start. And let me see what the best way. I might shift my body just so you guys can see what I'm doing, but we're going to start with our feet straight at the wall, our feet flat at the wall like Tadasana. And if you have a strap handy or a scarf, we're going to do a version of Supta Padangusthasana. So we're pushing the left foot into the wall, and we're going to hug the right knee into the chest. And just feel how it feels to hug the knee into the chest, kind of compressing that hip flexor, giving it a little massage. And then we'll send that right leg vertical. So now is the time you can grab your strap, put it on the ball of the right foot, or if you don't have a strap or scarf, you can just lace the hands at the back of the right hamstrings. Okay, so I'll show you from this way. The left foot is actively pushing into the wall space. And you're just opening up the hamstrings here. And with that Left foot flex and pushing into the wall. Our hips are stable here. We're grounded, we're anchored with the left leg so that we can open up the right leg. So if you don't have a strap, you can work your hands up to the calf now. You can even take peace fingers to the big toe. If you've got your strap, bend the elbows out, relax your shoulders. Just find some sweetness here as we open up the back of the leg. The hamstrings muscles attach behind the knee and the sits bone. So can contribute to kind of tightness around the knee or the low back. They pull down and tilt the pelvis and pull on the lower back. So let's take another nice deep breath here. And then what we're gonna do is take a half happy baby here at the wall. So bend the right knee into the chest. You can keep your strap looped on your foot. Take the right leg out, right knee out to the side, and try to bring your shin bone vertical so that your right foot is flexed. So I'm holding the outer edge of my foot, but if you have a strap on your foot, you can hold your strap. So we're just working into that right hip in a different way. So find the anchoring of the left foot pushing into the wall. So we still have that kind of neutral pelvis. The left hand can go to the left hip, kind of to ground it down. And just take another full breath here. Notice how you're talking to yourself today. From here, if you can, it might feel good to straighten that right leg out. So it's Supta Panagustasana, again, a version B, where we open the leg out. So now we're opening up inner thigh, hamstrings, inner hip. Again, push the left foot into the wall. Try to move the left hip down toward the floor. So find an anchor there. We don't have to go super far down with that leg. Maybe it's a little bit higher and we're opening out, or maybe we're just staying with the bent knee, half happy baby. So really it's whatever feels good to you in this moment. We're gonna hang here for one more deep breath. Good. If you have the leg straight, bend the knee. If you're in your happy baby, bring the knee to the midline. So we're gonna go back to that half apanasana, half wind reliever pose. So from here, we'll twist. You're gonna put the sole of the foot on top of the left thigh, scoot your hips over to the right about an inch, and then with your exhale, we're gonna twist to the left. Notice how your left foot now is not vertical. Your toes are not vertical. Your left foot is now twisting or kind of rotating toward the left. You're gonna inhale, take your hip away from your ribs, and then exhale, look toward the right hand as you spread your right shoulder down to the floor. Lots of length through the side of the waist, revolving the ribs toward the right, getting a nice supported spinal twist, support with the foot pushing against the wall. Gives us sort of a little more stability here. And then we'll bring the head back to center and then roll back onto the spine. Good. And then we'll switch sides, but first just hug the knees into the chest and notice how the right side feels compared to the left side. And then take both feet down flat on the wall. And do that again. Just kind of be aware of your body. So finding Tadasana, mountain pose, on your back. Feel the feet push actively into the wall. Now hug the left knee into the chest and feel that connection. If you feel like you're scooting away from the wall, then inch yourself maybe just a touch closer so you can really push that foot and root it into the wall as you hug the left knee in. So as you hug the left knee in, you kind of release the right hip flexors, the right front of the hip. And then you can grab your strap or your scarf and straighten out the left leg, looping the ball of the foot. If you've got your strap, bend your elbows out and relax the grip that you have. You can lace the hands at the back of the hamstring, kind of close to that hamstring attachment at the sits bone. And take some deep breaths here. You can even close your eyes. Flex the foot or point the foot, but some sort of activity for the foot so that we can gently activate the quads to release the hamstrings a little more effectively. Feel how the sacrum, the lower back, is melting into the floor evenly on both sides of the pelvis. So that's the pushing the foot into the wall kind of helps us anchor the right hip down. And then you can slide the hands up to the calf if you're not working with a strap. And just continue to breathe as if the breath could nourish and help to release the hamstrings, any gripping, any resisting that you might be experiencing here. Deep breath in, long breath out. Also be mindful both sides of the low back, nice and long. So the left low back is long. Move the left hip crease down and forward, so away from the ribs. From here, we'll go into half happy baby. So bend the knee, and then we'll take the knee out wide, maybe with your strap, or grab the outer edge of the left foot. Try to bring your shin bone vertical to the floor and hug the left knee in toward the left ribs. Continue to stamp the right foot into the floor and anchor the right hip down. You can even take your right hand to your right hip to just ground yourself here. Just a nice warming, grounding sensation, hand on the hip. So there's a tendency here, and I'm feeling this, my right side of the sacrum is starting to lift up. Then you can maybe even back out of your stretch a little bit, just so that the pelvis doesn't pull too far to the left. We want it to be stable and level and find a nice, effective, safe stretch here. So you can continue with this half happy baby variation with the knee bend. This is a great option. Maybe extend the legs, straighten the legs. So we're in Supta Padangusthasana B. And again, the leg doesn't have to be super far close to the floor. It can be a little bit higher up. Push the right foot into the wall. I'm starting to scoot away, so I'm going to inch myself closer so I can feel grounded. This is the root helping us root into the wall, stability in the hips to open and release. Soften your face. Notice if you've gathered some tension between the eyebrows or in the jaw. Take a nice deep breath and release it. Good. Let's bring that leg back to center. Bend the knee into the chest. We're going to take our twist. So you're going to put the sole of the foot on the right thigh. Scoot your hips over to the left a little bit. Take an inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, we're going to twist to the right. So you're rolling onto the outer kind of strip. You're rolling onto your right IT band and right hip to go into this twist. Inhale, lengthen the left side of the waist. Move the left hip down and toward the left knee. And then exhale, look toward the left hand. Spread the left shoulder down into the floor. Deep breath here. Just feel the breath kind of massaging the organs in this twist. One more. Bring the head back into the center. Roll back onto your back. And then hug both knees into the chest. And massage that sacrum. Massage the lower back. From here, we're going to roll over. Push into your hand and slowly come up. And we're going to take a seated wide fold. So you can kind of face any way. Ideally, the legs long on the mat like this. But I'm going to show you because I'm going to face you guys. So we start in our wide angle with the feet flexed just to kind of position the pelvis. If you need to, set your hips up on the edge of your blanket is always a good idea for a forward bend. So I'm going to bring my sits bones just to the edge of the blanket so I can feel my thighs drop down and my hips are in a good position, a nice neutral position, not tilting backwards. From here, we're going to turn the ribs toward the right leg, but the left hand is going to trickle toward the left foot and stop when you feel kind of a side body opening on the right side. So you're going to rest the forearm on top of the thigh. Take the right arm up. Let's go out first and then turn the thumb back and take it behind the back. So a little half bind. And then drop the left ear to the left shoulder to relax the neck. And really weight down your right sits bone. Weight down the right hip here. And then relax the feet once you're here. So there's just this deep opening through the right side of the waist, kind of right hip to the right sits bone. Right shoulder opening, right neck, right side of the neck. Take a deep breath here. This is a kind of a yin experience. So notice how your body is receiving this. How do you meet this more inward, slow, deep opening? Is it something that you welcome, or is it easier to resist and push away? Take the arm, release it, take the right arm up into the air, and then stretch toward the left foot with that arm. And then see if you can take your left rib cage and roll it toward the ceiling. One more breath here. And then let's slowly come up. Whew. The right way should feel much different than the left. Do the other side. So we start with a little bit of revolving toward the left. So turn the torso toward the left, flex the feet, and then send the right hand out toward the right foot. So we're coming into just a really gradual side bend. Rest your your lower arm on your thigh. Take the left arm out, turn the thumb down, internal rotation for your humerus bone. And then the hand's just gonna go to the low back, so a half bind. And then drop the shoulders down the back and drop the right ear to the right shoulder and drop the left sits bone down. And then feel how that just slowly starts to create an opening sensation in the left side of the body. And then relax your feet. And take some deep breaths here. So opening the fascia, the connective tissue. Accessing a little more mobility through the side body, through the hip, the shoulder, neck. Staying with it for another nice deep breath here. Being aware of sensation. This is a Parivrita Upavishta Konasana variation. We're going to take the left arm and release it, reaching it up and over toward the right foot. And then feel for the bottom waist getting long as well, and the bottom ribs revolving toward the sky. One more breath here. Inhale. We'll slowly lift back up. Nice. Coming back to center. We're going to fold forward this time. So flex the feet once again. Take a deep breath in and then feel for rolling forward. So the pelvis is kind of rolling forward first. Go about halfway to your capacity. And then maybe you can even move a little bit side to side. I'm really feeling that last one. I must have been in need of some openness there in that area, side body. Inhale, lift the heart again, and then exhale. Maybe there's a little more room to come forward more. Maybe we can come onto the forearms. Maybe just tuck the chin slightly, lengthen the back of the neck. Maybe relax your feet now in this position. Take a big breath here. Noticing how it feels to be holding some of these really deep stretches, these deep opening sensations in the body. Allow the breath to guide you in releasing tension. And then we'll slowly pad your way back up. Bring the hands to the underneath the knees and bring the knees together. Shake the legs out a little bit. We're going to come back to the wall now. So grab your blanket. Let's do a pigeon at the wall first to get into outer hips. This class is kind of all about hips and hamstrings today. So you're going to come to the wall maybe a foot away from the wall. Have your blanket nearby. Roll onto your side and then roll onto your back. That way we don't throw out the back or do anything wonky to the spine as we come into this. And then start with just your legs up. So I'm going to scoot closer because I know where I'm at in this pose. I like to start about a foot away and then maybe inch closer if needed. So we're going to come into a figure four at the wall. We're going to bend the right knee and externally rotate, creating your figure four shape. The left leg is still straight. Right foot will be flexed. And then we're going to bend the left leg and slide the left foot down the wall until you feel that pigeon sensation in the right hip. Now, if you don't feel anything, then chances are we're too far away. So maybe scoot yourself closer to the wall. So you have your figure four, you're flexing the right foot. Take the right hand and just casually or gently move the right knee away from you as the left knee moves down toward you as you slide that left foot down. And then what's great about this position is you can then relax the arms. So the wall is doing the work here. Get heavy in the pelvis. So you want your sacrum, your lower back, to drop, your hips to drop into the mat. If the hips are lifting up, if your sacrum is lifting up off the floor, you need to scoot away. You're too close to the wall. So there's kind of two levers of difficulty here. How close we are to the wall and how bent this left leg is. So you can kind of control your hip opener by straightening or bending the left leg or scooting closer or farther away from the wall. But this is great because this is kind of pigeon on your back. Instead of threading the needle, you don't have to use the arms. You can relax the upper body. Maybe even cactus the arms and just feel that freedom in the upper body as you use gravity and the wall to release into the right hip. Slowing down the breath here. And just take another nice full round of breath. And then we'll switch sides. Slide your left leg up the wall, unhook the right leg, and then take both legs up and just feel again a difference in your outer hips. Now same thing, figure four, the left knee bends, flex the foot, and then start to bend the right leg. Now this side might be a totally different experience. You can adjust the distance the hips are to the wall. You can also adjust the degree of the bend in the right knee. And then the left hand can guide the left knee kind of away from you just a little bit. And then release your arms down and rest the sacrum, rest the pelvis. Deeply release the pelvis into the floor. As you feel that stability, the right foot pushing into the wall to facilitate this hip opener, this pigeon. And it's also, you're getting just a little tiny inversion with your right leg up in this position, starting to reverse the blood flow. I love using the wall as a prop. It's just such a good support. So breathing into it, closing the eyes. Let's take another nice full 2 rounds of breath here. Just following the breath in and then letting the breath release out. Last one, being aware of how your outer left hip feels. And then allow the right leg to start to walk up the wall or straighten up the wall. Unhook your legs. You can kind of windshield wiper a little bit side to side. Let the bones internally and externally rotate. And then we'll slide the knees back down, roll over to your side, and push yourself up. We're going to stay at the wall, but we're going to grab our blanket or our towel. You're going to start with your blanket folded like this, so it's kind of long and skinny. If you have a bath towel at home, fold it once. And then from this long part, we're just going to create a skinny, tight roll. So roll the towel or the blanket all the way up. And then we're going to push it toward the wall, again, about maybe 1/2 foot away, maybe 6 inches from the wall. We're going to just put our sacrum on the roll now. So we're lifting the pelvis up away from the wall. So then you start in the same way. You go on the side, fetal position. And then you're going to roll onto your back, onto your sacrum. Put your feet on the wall. And then position the hips so that it feels comfortable. You may need to go closer to the wall or farther away. So you can do that by pushing your feet into the wall, adjusting your hips, adjusting your roll. And then from here, we're gonna heel toe your legs out, your feet out, coming into malasana, garland pose at the wall. So the heels are turned in slightly, the toes out. You can rest your forearms on the inner knees, inner thighs to get that opening there in the inner hips, inner thighs, which feels really nice. Or again, you can rest your arms on the floor. So this might feel really good. You can stay. There's some other options. If you have space on your wall to extend your legs into Upavishta, we've been here before, so it might feel nice to take your legs all the way out. This is a good one to just bring your pelvis down onto the roll. It's a nice little tonic for the nerves that run through the sacrum, the base of the spine. So it's starting to nourish that second chakra, the sacral chakra. It's our center of creativity, joy, connection to joy and pleasure. So it's just taking another round of breath here, opening into the hips, breathing into your body. And then from here, we'll take Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. So the hands are going to support you as you bring the legs together up the wall. And I would highly recommend reaching for that strap or scarf. Bend your knees, wrap the feet so that they stay together. It's really nice. I don't have one with me right now, but then put your legs back up the wall. Notice if you need to shift the support that's underneath you. So we want to feel really stable where we are. Your hips don't have to touch the wall. It's okay if they do or don't. Mine are right now, but not all the time. It's just kind of different every time I come here. So the strap helps to keep the legs together so there's not much effort there, which is good in a restorative pose. And then release the arms out. Hips are slightly lifted, slightly elevated here. So it's just a nice transition of fluid flow, the lymph fluid and the blood to kind of drain from the lower legs, the feet and the legs, pooling in the pelvis, and then from there moving to the heart, kind of flooding the heart with oxygenated blood, and then to the brain. So we're creating this nice easy flow, recirculation of the fluid in the body. And we are stimulating our endocrine system, the glands in the body. Let the arms release toward the floor. Let your thigh bones kind of drop into the hip sockets. So there's very little effort here. This is said to be one of the most effective restorative poses, and this is one of my go-tos if I'm really tired. This is my go-to. I put my legs up the wall. It really changes everything. It brings our bodies into the equilibrium. So if we're feeling anxious, it grounds us. If we are feeling tired, it rests and restores and just replenishes our systems. So we're switching into the parasympathetic nervous system response state. That is the body's ability to rest and digest and relax and process and heal. So there's a lot of stuff that comes up through the day in our active life. And we rarely have the opportunity to digest all of that, whether it be food or information, stimuli that come our way. So doing restorative yoga is one of the it's just got a lot of magic to it, because we have the ability to process what we've taken in throughout the week. And we have the opportunity to reset our nervous system, soothe the nerves, so that we can go back into life feeling more balanced, more present, more at ease, less reactive, more authentic, more clear. So just another about minute or so, letting gravity and the pose do what they're supposed to do here for you. Relaxing the muscles in the face. We're going to move into our yoga nidra guided relaxation and meditation here in a moment. So just starting to bring that energy of shavasana, of letting go, of non-doing, kind of take over your systems. Noticing any effects of this inversion. So good to reverse the blood flow. So this pose can be practiced for 20 minutes a day. Whatever you can do. So restful. We're going to come on out for now. So start to wiggle your toes and point and flex your feet at the wall. Then we're going to bend the knees. Push into the wall so that you can lift your hips and slide your blanket or towel out from underneath you, and then put your hips back down. And then we'll bend the knees, bring them together, roll over to your right side. And after being in an inversion, let's just take a moment on our side. So my upper right arm is my pillow for a moment. Resetting, settling my energy here. Take a deep breath. And then let's slowly push into the hands and come up.